Well, let's return now to one of our top stories, the attack in Pakistan. For more perspective, we're joined by Amir Rana in Islamabad. He's a security analyst with the Institute for Peace Studies. Thanks ever so much for joining us. Now, we have reports of many dead and many injured, but there was a specific target. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it seems that the religious seminary was the target. And this is the area where the many attacks been reported in the past. And most of these attacks were the very religious and sectarian in their nature, whether it was targeted by the terrorist groups managed against the Shia communities, or whether the Sunni religious leaders. So this is the train which has a long history of this religious and sectarian conflict.
What do you read into any reaction there's been so far from the Pakistani government on the claim from Daesh that they're behind it?
Yeah, the Daesh claim is quite skeptical because it has accepted the responsibilities of many attacks in recent months, and only few been factual. And we have to be wait until we will find some concrete evidence that whether this is managed by the IS or some other groups are involved. As I has mentioned, that this is the area where multiple type of the sectarian groups are operating, whether they are the Sunni groups or the Shia groups. And the nature of the confrontations or the conflict remain very local and sectarian in this area. But there's a few experts are trying to be link it with the recent development, what is happening in this region, and even few broadly linking it with the leader, the party of the leader being targeted in this election, which had one international congregation near Peshawar, where they had declared the war against extremism. And it was quite a big development here in Pakistan that one religious party, which has a roots in the province of Balochistan and the KP province, they had come up with a clear stance. We have to be seen to be what was the real motive behind. Right now, there's a probability, the probabilities are there. Yeah. Three probabilities are there. One is maybe the Daesh, but we still have to wait the evidence. Second is the local group, which are quite sectarian in their nature. And the third is maybe there's some other non-state actor proxies being used in this attack.
It might sound like a generalization, but everyone does tend to think that the Taliban are the main threat in Pakistan. Is that changing now? Has that threat shifted? Is the main threat now Daesh?
There are multiple kind of the threats we are facing. It's vary from area to area. If you're talking about some urban areas, near the coastal lines, maybe there's a group, especially the Daesh, which has the comparatively more prominent presence, and its allies also have presence in this area. In the mainland, we have seen this is the sectarian groups are quite active. In tribal areas, there's the Taliban, they are active. There's only two groups which has a national-wide outreach, which is one is the Pakistani Taliban, and second is the breakaway faction, which called the Jamaat-ul Ahrar. They have the national-wide outreach, but they haven't come up with any responsibility of these attacks. And it is surprising that one of the spokesperson of this TTP, or the Pakistani Taliban, had condemned the attack on this seminary.
Mr. Rana, thank you very much for that analysis.